Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Kevin Franke filing a new lawsuit against his former therapist, Jodi Hildebrandt. I had a few thoughts about it, so if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so Kevin Franke is painting himself as some kind of brainwashed victim of Jodi, and he is filing this lawsuit from the stance of somebody that was just completely taken advantage of. Before I share kind of what's been released, I want to remind everybody that Kevin Franke was standing by Ruby Franke's side for years before Jodi Hildebrandt entered their lives, abusing all of their children in many different fashions. So I take this lawsuit filing with a huge grain of salt because Kevin was being abusive long before Jodi came around. So let's start at the top. It says Kevin Franke is not done with Jodi Hildebrandt, a mental health therapist who provided care for him, his former wife, and multiple other family members after she went to prison for physically his two youngest children. Instead, he filed a lawsuit asking Utah's 3rd District Court to order her to pay him based on economic and emotional damages he claims she caused him. The lawsuit does not ask for a specific amount of money, but it does say it exceeds $300,000. Franke claims that she was negligent as his therapist and breached the duty of care she had to him while he was vulnerable by using improper mental health care techniques. Hildebrandt and Franke's ex-wife, Ruby Franke, each pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse, a second-degree felony, and were sentenced to 4 consecutive terms of 1 to 15 years in prison. Franke says in the lawsuit that he did not know his wife and younger children were living in Hildebrandt's home during the summer of 2023. As a reminder, they were both taken into custody in August of 2023. The lawsuit said that while he was paying for her counseling services to help him reunite with his family, she was isolating them from him. Reuniting of the family was the very core stated objective of the services she was providing, but in reality, she was abusing his children and taking drastic steps to distance his family further and further from Kevin and from each other, the lawsuit states. The complaint said Hildebrandt was introduced to Kevin Franke through her personal and business association with Ruby Franke as they worked together on a Facebook group called Moms of Truth. Ruby Franke was previously an influencer with over 2.3 million subscribers on her 8 Passengers YouTube channel. Kevin Franke says that before Hildebrandt's arrest on August 30th, 2023, she had advised both Ruby and Kevin Franke and sold them books and workbooks. He said that although she was licensed as a clinical mental health care provider, Hildebrandt often referred to herself as a psychologist, and he believed her in her exaggerated credentials. In the lawsuit, he also says that he believed Hildebrandt's diagnosis of him without any specific testing, that he was lustful, narcissistic, manipulative, deceptive, controlling, and selfish. He said that she also convinced his wife of this diagnosis. Franke said that he and his 17-year-old son cut contact from the family members as treatment mandated by Hildebrandt, whom they paid hundreds of dollars to a month. To protect his marriage and family, he alleges that she also used his commitment to his religion, marriage, and family to manipulate him. He said he was threatened by others at the direction of Hildebrandt that if he did not change quickly, his wife would divorce him. I also want to know, in all of this mess, why is the LDS Church not being held accountable in any way, shape, or form? Because they were promoting Jodi. They were approving of her. They were pushing her out to LDS members. And it seems like the church has just gotten away with no dirt on their hands. At the encouragement of Hildebrandt, who convinced him that he was not worthy, Franke said that he did not renew his Latter-day Saints temple recommend, which led to him losing his job at BYU, where it was a requirement. The lawsuit said that she advised him that losing his job may wake him up and that it was not worthy to work at BYU. When he did lose his job, he was scolded by Hildebrandt and told that he was selfish, according to the lawsuit. It said that Hildebrandt was extremely mentally abusive and belittled Franke, accusing him of loving darkness and hiding evil. Urging him to confess until she was satisfied, he said that she shared confidential information with others in group sessions and invited them to him, doing the same for others in the group. On July 26th of 2023, the lawsuit claims that Hildebrandt announced that she was suspending Franke's services, saying he needed solitude to heal, and that she would follow up after 6 months of absolute solitude, communicating only with God. She claimed violating this would cost him his marriage and family. Franke is not the first to file a lawsuit against Hildebrandt's practices. Another man receiving treatment claimed earlier this year in a federal lawsuit he was seeking millions of dollars that she and Ruby Franke, along with their Business Connections classroom, participated in electronic fraud and encouraged child abuse. Each of the defendants in that case, including Hildebrandt, are seeking to dismiss it. So that's a rundown of the lawsuit, why Kevin is filing, and kind of the position that he's taking in all of this. I'd like to remind everybody that after Ruby and Jodi were taken into custody, instead of automatically reuniting with his children and making sure that they were okay and doing what he could from a fatherly role, even though he had completely ignored his fatherly role for about a year leading up to their arrest, he wanted to call the police on his now adult daughter, Sherry. I really want to hear from parents and caregivers in the comments section. Of course, if you're not a parent, please leave your thoughts as well. But let's talk about if you were separated from your spouse or the parent of your child or children, and 2 months go by, 6 months go by, 8, 9, 10, 11, you're approaching that 1 year mark where you have not seen your 2 youngest children. Would you allow that to just go on because you're still listening to your therapist? Or would you not be super upset and pissed off and not even allow half of that time to go by before you are literally driving door to door trying to find your children? Because it would not have taken much effort for Kevin to go to Jodi's house and figure out what's going on here, how are my children, why is this happening. I realize that being brainwashed and, the religion aspect of it and all of that stuff, but at a certain point in time, you have to do a little bit more. What if he would have done just one visit to Jodi's house and could have stopped this before it got to the point that it ended at? So a part of me holds space for the brainwashing part of this, but I've also been very familiar with Ruby and Kevin literally years before Ruby was arrested. I saw all of the problematic content that was being posted publicly, things that Ruby was doing to the children on video that Kevin was literally right there watching the content be filmed and participating in it. So I'm not going to buy into the narrative that Kevin Franke was just some kind of, we were living our life and everything was great, and then Jodi came in and ruined everything with brainwashing techniques. I'm just never going to fall on that side of it, because I saw everything that led up to their arrest. And Kevin was standing by Ruby's side. in the same house long before Jodi entered the picture. And as I said earlier, may we never forget that he called the police on Sherry Franke. When he saw his daughter on the grounds of BYU, he would not even look her in the eyes. Because in my opinion, he's a cowardly little man. But that's what's going on with this lawsuit filing. Tell me how y'all feel down below. I'll be checking the comments. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.